What's up, fuckers?
What's going on?
We're here today with Hayden Sweat.
I appreciate you guys having me and breaking my podcast virginity and actually getting on one. It's awesome.
I'm absolutely excited. I'm just fucking chock full of questions.
Oh, it doesn't hurt too bad. We'll be gentle.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So Hayden is the city attorney of Mount Washington, Kentucky. I want to know. First question. So, is that like an elected position? Like, do you like hold like a?
That's an interesting question.
Is there a board of trustees?
We do have boards. That's an interesting question because it actually came up with the judge the other day. Was asking me if that's an elected position. It's not an elected position. It's an appointed position. So, the mayor, Barry Armstrong, who is elected, he gets to appoint whoever he wants as the city attorney. So, the old city attorney ran for Commonwealth attorney Bailey Taylor. And so he had to leave the position and opened it up. And then I basically followed the mayor around town for a few weeks until he, gave me consideration. And then I was lucky enough to slide in there. So I really owe it all to the mayor for appointing me. But yeah, it's an appointed position.
That's awesome. How long were you in school, U of L?
I was at U of L for 3 years. So, I was a Bullitt East graduate, went to Western, was in a fraternity, partied, didn't know what I was going to do, was sleeping on couches and just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I took the LSAT and I got into law school by the skin of my teeth, and then spent 3 years at Brandeis, passed the bar, and then was fortunate to get a pretty good gig right off the bat.
That's badass.
How old are you?
I'm 26. Yeah, since you asked for that soft toss, I'll say I'm actually the youngest city attorney in the state right now at
Nice.
26. So anytime I go to these events, everybody looks at me like
Do people move for that kind of thing? So, like, to get it somewhere else, would you have moved?
I'd say typically, you most city attorneys are city attorneys where they're from.
Okay.
To get appointed, you're gonna have to have some connections and some networking. Now, potentially I could see somebody doing that. Maybe if you knew somebody.
I was just curious if you were lucky to get it in Mount Washington, because you're from Mount Washington, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like I was applying for a bunch of cities or something.
Gotcha.
It was just.
Okay.
That's what. Okay.
Being a good old boy helps. Being
gotcha.
where you're from. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So is there a county attorney and then like a state attorney?
Is
there tons of just different like?
Yeah, because in your county there's like county government, and then there's all these city governments within the county. So yeah, there's a county attorney, there's a Commonwealth attorney, which would be the state attorney.
Right.
Yeah, and then like the county attorney, like something kind of, I guess, like Mount Washington doesn't. Bullitt County handles all the criminal cases. So, like Mount Washington doesn't prosecute you. If you get in trouble in Mount Washington, the Bullitt County will actually prosecute you, and the county attorney will handle that. So the city doesn't actually prosecute you. So I don't know. I think that's kind of something that people just think about getting in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about lawyers, you think about getting in trouble.
Right. Yeah.
So without being too specific, like let's not say like Mount Washington city attorney specifically, but a city attorney, what do you do?
Okay. So basically I'm like an advisor to the mayor and the city council. So, the city's constantly, especially Mount Washington, because it's growing. I think I tweeted the other day, it's the second fastest growing city in the state, which is pretty impressive. But they're constantly changing laws or adding new laws, or like they built that new ballpark. The city's constantly entering contracts. How you get your garbages through the city, how you get your waters through the city. So the city has so much basically business going on that they need a lawyer constantly to advise them, making sure they're following the right procedures, making sure they're doing everything right, making sure they're not getting screwed in contracts. So that's basically my main role with the city.
Okay.
You just like review these contracts and stuff and make sure.
Yeah, review a lot of contracts, and a lot of real estate too. The city's constantly buying more property. We also annex a lot of property because it's growing. And annexing is where a city basically like widens its map, and that means you can vote. Like some people might say they live in Mount Washington, but technically it's not in the city district. So like if you don't live in the city, you can't vote, and different things like that. So Mount Washington is a growing map, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's now the biggest city.
So how does that work
in the county?
So does that mean so does the city technically get bigger? Like in actual area? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
kinda
Like,
almost like if somebody's house is outside the jurisdiction, but you're like, hey, I want to be in so you'll just kind of file for that and the state will add you in? Is that kind of, or not the
yeah,
state, but the,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
the city or,
Shit.
that's weird.
Yeah. And people, and for different reasons, landowners may want to be in the city or may not. Maybe they'll want to be in the city because they want to vote or get city water or garbage pickup, or maybe they don't because they don't want to pay city taxes, or so there's and then that gets into politics and all kinds of stuff. But Mount Washington, we're kind of like Pac-Man or something right now. We're trying to it's growing, so we're
It's been like that forever.
Yeah.
Ever since I moved there in 2008 or whatever. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I've never, as far as I'm concerned, I've never really seen Mount Washington small.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when I was growing up here, it was big. Like, I remember people telling me there wasn't shit here. Like, absolutely nothing.
Like, people are just
No,
stuff.
like, stuff and people.
Oh, yeah, the stuff for sure.
People say, wasn't the McDonald's been there for a long time, right? Or is it the
I
Dairy
think
Queen?
it's probably the longest standing. Yeah.
Longest running, worst McDonald's.
They talked about it was just the McDonald's and this maybe the Value or something forever.
Right.
Like for a fucking long time, and that was it. And then gas stations and shit.
Well, they had that one restaurant that's been 3 different
And
restaurants.
now we're we got a fucking movie theater. There's 4 different places to get your tires changed.
Kroger and
Emergency care center. All kinds of random shit.
I think they just don't have anything more for they don't have a lot of entertainment. They're just
Yeah.
movies. That's really just it. And if you want to go get food, but I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's like that a lot everywhere now. Even in places
Yeah.
there is
It's
entertainment.
It's hard to
still just
waste
kinda,
money. It seems wasteful for entertainment, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what I would think. I don't know.
And it's interesting you guys bring that up because I think, and that's kind of goes in the politics of things, where Mount Washington is kind of hitting a clash point or something, where it's a kind of a conservative southern town, but it's also growing, and that's going to be a big decision coming through, what will come through the city council in the next couple of years of are we going to let another bar be built, and that's something that will have to be approved through the city. Are we going to have outlet malls? Are we going to have things like that? And I really expect we're going to have more and more stuff like that, but it also, you're going to have a fight back by some people in the city are not going to agree with that, not going to want that, because they're going to kind of keep that small town feel. But that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that moves going forward.
Do you think it's old people will want to say no?
Basically,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah,
Old
that's
people
what I'm trying to
always
say
ruin
nicely.
everything,
Yeah,
dude. Seriously, old people are the worst. We love them, but they're the worst.
It's not so much that, but let me ask you this. So this is based off something I've heard. The original place that was in that restaurant that's kind of the cabiny looking place. What was it called? Boar's Nest. Didn't they do live music?
Oh yeah, no.
Was that part of their departure?
I had heard that as the same thing. How people were complaining about how loud it was.
And I didn't know if that was they complained to the city. We're what the fuck? And I didn't know if you
Asleep.
But that's been a while actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, because there was an Italian and wasn't there a straight up Spanish place there as well?
There was Tuscany, and then there was there was some Spanish place or some.
And then it was the bar.
Restaurant.
It was the bar that's kind of the duplicate of the one that's in Shepherdsville.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
Lights on, or
Yeah.
yeah. Or lights out. I can't remember.
There's one that's lights off, and there's another one like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. They tried.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
they just changed a couple letters. And we'll
Yeah,
just
that's a good example of people just fighting back against growth, and you see the same thing in Louisville. And all that Top Golf was a big issue.
So where's that at right now?
I think that's going to happen as
Okay.
far as I'm concerned. But there's, and that's something in law too, which is kind of bullshit. And I think lawyers made it this way to make more money. So I'm not going to complain. But there's so many appeal process, and it just makes things hard to get things done because everything's so convoluted, and you got to go through so many. Even when you get something done, then the other side appeals, and you got to go through that.
Yeah.
So I hope we get Top Golf. I hope Mount Washington, expands and continues to let new entertainment stuff come into the city.
I mean, the park. I think the park's really nice. I thought that was a fucking home run. I mean, granted, that's kind of headed on, your way out of Mount Washington, but still, I think that's fucking badass.
So which park's this new park? I feel like I'm unaware. Or is there is it brand spanking new? Or
yeah,
is
it's
it
a $7 million park. You gotta check it out, man. It's I guess
I don't know.
It's back. It's back behind going back Flatlick. What's it called? Landis Lane, and going back behind the police station.
Really?
Yeah, if you
really?
guys haven't been back there, there's a brand new.
What the hell?
Yeah, see, I didn't know there was a brand new park.
I know I know where Landis Lane is. That's the trailer park and all that shit.
It's right beside it. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's awesome. Full court
$7
basketball.
million?
Yeah, 2 turf football fields. Um,
What the fuck?
it's like it's going to be like a sports mecca, built in Mount Washington. So you definitely got to see it. And I know that's kind of like the mayor's like big thing that he's done so far.
That's fucking wow.
Well, I'm gonna go check that out.
Holy shit! Fuck yeah, I can't wait for it to get warm.
It's
basketball
wicked.
or something like
Or
that.
football or flag football, that'd be
Football,
fun as
tackle,
shit.
yeah.
They might put 12 Oaks courts out of business. I know back in the day.
Dude,
we used to-
those are starting to get shit.
Yeah, we needed
Dude.
that. Yeah, they need to be done.
we do.
It could not rain for months, and there's
Yes.
mud all up on the trail, dude. Seriously.
That's like the drain zone, and they did that shit on purpose. That was the only place they had left, apparently.
Well, it's a shit.
Because they had it like it was like sinking all over the place. Like they had to put like dirt in there to make like it's all looks like a big platform. Like the neighborhood pretty much is.
Mm-hmm.
There's all just shit falling off down the side of it.
Oh, yeah, just like hilly kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also funny how many kids play at that park that don't live there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I did all the time.
I never did. I
It's
never
like
lived there.
90% of the people there play
Yeah.
basketball there.
Yeah,
You know,
I did all the time. Then they'd be like, "Yeah, you live there?" I'd be like, "Yeah." And they'd be like, "What's your address?" I'd be like, "Fuck."
That one over there.
Yeah, right there. So that new park's gonna be sweet. Definitely gotta check it out.
God, where have I been?
Yeah, I didn't know there was a park there. I thought you meant maybe Broad Run.
Well, I was talking about Broad Run. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
really
that's
cool
what I figured
too.
when I saw
Right?
See,
that.
I just thought like that in itself, I feel like just attracted more people to start getting outside, and like even then, like I feel like there's a lot of people coming from other places. But even then, yeah, I need to
I
check
know,
out this new
that's in my
park.
bag.
I run a
Yeah.
lot now, so I want to check that out.
Yeah, we're both going to it, and him also. We're all three running a 5K next month.
I hear you, boys. Yeah, I've been trying to drop some lbs. I'm doing the walking on the treadmill thing uphill and listening to podcasts. I'm trying to build up to
Dude, walking
some
uphill,
running.
dude.
Yeah.
You'll burn some
It
shit
will.
walking
It
uphill,
does,
seriously.
man. I'll be sweating my ass off.
Dude, me and Cole. So I think I told this story to Dylan a while back, but we were running at Broad Run for the first time,
Mhm.
and I have never been there in my life. We just parked and we were like, all right, we'll run this little trail right here. We just start running and we're like, whatever. We're trying to get like 2 miles or whatever. So we get to this like little hill area. We're like, okay, it's getting a little hilly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was steep, and we were
Right.
like, okay, it couldn't be too far. We're just waiting for some drop off, maybe like a roundabout. Dude, it went for a whole mile. We just kept going. We were like, dude.
The
And
whole hill, yeah.
It didn't even like end. Like what happened was we got to the top and there were cones saying, "Hey, you gotta turn around," and it was still a hill.
Oh,
So we just
man.
were like, okay.
Yeah, I know they got some tough trails back there. I've been biking back there a couple times, and it's a nice trail for sure and tough.
I feel like if you're running on a treadmill during when it's cold, that makes more sense. But if it's like warm out and you're on a treadmill, I feel like you're like not like too hot, but if it's like a nice 70-degree day, I feel like you should be at a park for
Yeah,
sure. Like
or
looking at some
trying.
shit, like getting
Yeah.
some fresh air. Like, it's pretty relaxing. So
Yeah, I mean, I like to run a lot. I can't do a podcast while I'm running, but I feel like it's because I'm running. If I was walking, for sure. I laugh all day. So I'm like, sometimes at work, a lot of the times at work, I can listen to a podcast while I'm doing shit. And then, like, if a call comes in or whatever, I'll just pause it. And as soon as it's over, I'll just, boom, and I'll start it again.
Yeah.
Dude, I will laugh my fucking ass off just so loud.
sitting at your desk listening to them.
Yes. I listen to, like, all kinds of different ones now. Connor listens to all kinds of shit. Connor's listening to more JRE than anybody I know. He's probably listened to at least 500 episodes because of Ford.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Jerry's great. I love it. You're talking about Joe Rogan experience,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And another thing too, I think great about that I've found, I think what's has surprised me with walking and jogging and trying to be consistent with it is it's probably helped my mental health, especially in my career, as it even does my physical health, which is something I think I took for granted when I was younger. But it's
Right.
great to release of stress for sure.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. I've never been able to, like, really, like, grab a hold of my mind, I guess. I can convince my body to do almost whatever, but, like, and now it's like I'm at the point where my mind is having to tell my body, and I've never been able to do that, and it's like it's pretty great.
I like the headspace you get into when you're like really thinking
Yeah.
about. You can either decide to think about your day or whatever, like think about something's getting on your nerves or whatever, just get that calmed down.
And
or
like
whatever.
sometimes I legit have to like root myself on, and
Yeah.
while I'm running,
Oh,
I'm like, dude,
definitely,
don't
man.
you fucking.
I'm gonna ask you this, okay? I asked Jacob Bowles this one time.
Okay.
Listen, he'll know what I'm talking about. But so if you're like, say you're going for 3 miles, you're on like 2.5, okay? You're like literally dying. It like hurts, okay? But you want to get this 3 miles. What would you think about? Like whatever music or whatever you had in, what would be your like go-to like? This is what I'm thinking about.
I'll
right now.
probably, man,
For
I
an
don't know. I'd have
example,
to
you
go
give
to
an
like a
example.
go-to like 50 Cent song or or either get a banger on and then just try to push it out and get it done, or call myself fat or stupid or try to motivate myself. That's what someone always got.
I'm just like, whatever.
That's the Rusty Troutman technique. We'll never get over that.
Just
Rusty used to always do that. Yeah, just
seriously.
Yell at yourself. That's what Rusty does. So
that's what I do. I yell at myself.
You're super mean to yourself. Like, okay.
I literally just think about anybody that I even if they don't, they might not, but I just think about people that might look down on me. I'm like, fuck you. I literally just sit there and like I might legitimately just be in the gym just looking at somebody that might be looking at me kind of weird, and I'm like, if I had to finish this, fuck you.
Like, yeah. Oh, definitely.
I've got people looking at me strange when I run, and it's fucking great.
The gym looks is a whole nother topic. You can go on and on about that forever.
What?
Looks at the gym, everybody's mugging everybody else in the gym.
Some of the
it's just
in
like
the gym though are so weird. Dude, I gotta tell a story.
I know you can't not look sometimes. Go ahead.
Dude, one time I was at Club Fitness. Okay, this was back in high school. This is hilarious. I was sitting there. I don't think I had any headphones in. I'm pretty sure, because this guy was there and this girl was with him. I guess his girlfriend. She was pretty attractive. Okay, and I was just listening to my own business, whatever they're talking. And he was talking about doing some cardio, or he's gonna start doing some cardio. She was like, "Yeah, we need to start running, doing some core, whatever." He was like, "Yeah, that way I don't sweat on you during sex anymore." And I was like, "Did I just hear what he?" And she got real quiet, and she goes, and I can hear her real faintly go, "He can hear you over there." He goes, "He has headphones in," and she goes, "No, he doesn't." And he looked over at me, and I was like, "Oh God!" Dude, seriously, I was so scared. I was like, "This is
awkward eye contact,
dude."
And when you talk, when you talk, you have headphones in, you're so loud, so he probably didn't really realize it.
And some people, when I'm at the gym, and like, no offense what they're doing either, but like if I'm like today, some dude was doing like push-ups with like a 45-pound plate on his back, and his buddy was like recording him, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Is this like Arnold over here?" Like he's putting. I was like, "What's going on over here?"
It's the Arnold.
And there's some people, like, I was on Facebook the other day, somebody was posting, like, their shoulder workout, and it looked like they were, like, no offense to them, but it looked like it was, like, their first day at the gym. It was, like, get some results, and then be like, "Look, this is what I did, and look how huge I am." And it's like, okay, that makes sense.
See, that's what, like, I haven't said shit about anything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you're not where you want to be, then it's like,
yeah,
get where you want to be, then go, okay, here's how I got there. Then we'll be like, whoa.
Yeah.
I know that is a bad fad right now.
I haven't said anything about that 5K. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to run it. And if I do it, then I might make a tweet. Might not. Might keep running low key for a while. Kind of like.
I think it's also like if you have a goal and then you set your goal, that's awesome. Post about it. But it's like if you went to the gym like one day and then you're like, "What up?" It's like, well, did you go the next 4 or did you just go like 2 weeks later? It's kind of like that. You know?
Right.
Like,
yeah. Well, and I think people kind of nowadays are bad about like saturating their product. It's like you're saying, like, don't show me that
they sell like a brand. It's like you're literally selling like your name, and it's so weird.
And you can wear it out. That constant. I mean, there's a couple people I had to unfollow on Instagram because it's just like nonstop.
It's like, don't be overbearing. It's like, you know.
Right. You
can do your thing, but
if I want to follow a workout account, I will. You know, I just want to follow you.
Yeah. And I'm not shitting on people either. If you're getting there working out, awesome, you should.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just like it shouldn't. The people just want instant gratification. They want to have like instead of being like, I put in this much work and now.
I honestly think there's too many people looking for a pat on the back.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
that's part of it. Like,
they're not doing it for them either. They're doing it for the gratitude.
That's what I'm saying. Like right now, that's part of my goal. That's what I like. I feel like, that's got a lot to do with why. Yeah, I just do it. You gotta do it for you.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta get like, and also you gotta focus on that too. Sometimes you can get out of hand with that too.
Yeah,
I'll say this too. There's no solution for sweating during sex.
No, there's not. If you're doing it right, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, it sounds like good sex to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're doing it right. Sounds like you just shut the door and not let the stank out.
I'm sweating from the nervousness.
He said, I think I'm going to puke.
The butterflies get you going, you know.
But I know that is something like every guy worries about, especially like when you're first with a new girl or something. And a lot of times, you know, if you hook up with a chick and it's one of the first times, you might have been consuming alcohol. And I don't know about you all, but I'll sweat so easily after I consume alcohol. So I don't know how you're supposed to solve that. I still haven't figured that out yet. Yeah, I guess
like
he said that's it's still lost on me, boys.
Yeah, I'd like to. If y'all find that out, let me know.
I was also talking to my mom the other day. The more I talk to more people, it seems the less people are going out in public. You know what I'm saying? Like, because almost it's like sometimes it's like, which I don't go out right now for sure because like I don't really have the funds to just go out every weekend like some people do. Like I don't really get it, whatever.
I mean, too much.
I just don't right now, so I'm just waiting until graduation.
Yeah, I can't.
Right.
Yeah, just like whatever. But like I don't even really know if like people that are going out with that much. People are just kind of staying inside more often. I don't know if it's because
It's just we're just in a different crowd. Because I know a ton of people that go to like TKs and fucking all these places. Like, nah. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm against it. Because like, I think you should go and have fun. But like, my idea of fun's a little different.
Yeah.
And like, I could have the same fun. Because like, I feel like what ends up happening in a lot of those places, you have a good conversation around a table with a lot of loud music and you're yelling. Or I had the same conversation, kind of like we're having now.
Right.
No microphones, and there's beers sitting where all the microphones are at.
Right.
Yeah.
When I definitely, that seems a mirage, kind of from my experience, and I definitely was a guy who went out in college and enjoyed all that. But as I get older, it kind of seems more and more as kind of a mirage. I think a lot of people just get drawn into that. They feel like they got to be out.
Seriously though.
Yeah, and it's just kind of a mirage. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna I just want to chill.
Yeah,
like,
just chill and like talk to people.
I feel like I'm supposed to go and drink the water, but it's like I don't. It's a mirage.
Yeah.
When you actually go there, it's the same beer that's at your house. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree. I've been trying to. My new thing this year is I'm gonna try to save my money to travel. So I went to LA. Gonna go to Vegas soon.
That's the fucking.
Dude, yeah, I might be going to Vegas in a few months too, dude.
That's the move. I'd rather go to Vegas than St. Matthews. You know what I mean? I've been there.
Amen,
plenty.
man. Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing. That's how it's got to be.
I want to travel a ton.
Dude, one of my buddies, I don't know why it's so random, but he wants to go to Disney. And I've never been to Disney not with like kids. So I mean, most of the time, like I can ride the rides that are fun and kind of like do that kind of thing. Can't really drink and like just do your own thing. But I've never been to Disney as an adult, and it sounds kind of childish, but it's fucking fun.
If there's any kids there, I'm saying, hey, I'm older. Get in the back.
No, but fucking
tall enough to ride all the rides.
Yeah. I've never and that's like another thing. Like I haven't done that kind of shit in a long time. Like, dude, when's the last time you've been to amusement parks?
It's been, dude. Me and my mom used to go to Holiday World. Like,
and I loved that shit. Like I don't know where I just like, like I just fucking because I love that. I can't do spinning shit anymore. That gets me a little weird. But roller coasters, bro. I used to hate those. Those are fucking awesome.
That's weird. I haven't like been on a roller coaster in forever. I wonder how I feel now. I think I'm like really old or anything.
I bet you'll get a little anxious.
I bet it's a little bit different. Being like, what?
I bet you get a little anxious.
Yeah, it's like, ugh.
I love that feeling a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I've been since Miss Tonelli's Kings Island trip.
Shit.
I don't know if you
Miss Tonelli. I had Miss Tonelli.
That goes back to your all's time, but yeah.
Okay, full disclosure. Never mind. I think Miss Tonelli was so hot.
Oh, we all did.
Yeah. Okay.
Very funny lady.
Just had to make sure we were all, because yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to pay attention?
That's like another like that Joe Rogan bit where like
that was entrapment.
Yeah,
I felt like
it was like, all right, favorite class of the day.
I enjoyed the class. Yeah.
That's what I felt like a good. It was like what? Oh, dude, but remember when we had the longer blocks?
Oh, like the 4 blocks instead of 7.
Yeah, and I had her that. Oh God,
I
didn't like it then.
2 out of 4 years. She was all right. She'd always like leave and then be gone for like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden I was like, okay.
In the block. Yeah.
And then she'd come back and I'd be like, where the hell did you go?
It was like that when I had her the second time, and it was like the shorter blocks. Like it was.
The block.
Well, she was like, I'm gonna teach you, and other than that, that's just really well I got. So if I might take 20 minutes off, 20 minutes off, I'll teach you after that. But
well, the block schedule was crazy, man. Like I think my last year I was like an aide, and I had PE, and I had an online class. So like basically I didn't do anything, and it was just not like the whole block. I do think for kids, it's better that they went away from it. But you could make a pretty cake schedule back in the day with that block. I mean, PE and aid, I didn't even move until noon. You know, unless it was ping pong. Yeah.
Seriously, I miss going to PE.
I do too. I miss like people having to play basketball. So you always had a game.
Yeah,
dude. One time in middle school, we had. I think we all went to like. At the very end of the day, we all went outside. I guess for some reason we just had to play off, or the block off, whatever.
Where was this?
At Mount Washington.
Okay.
And dude, people were just playing football out in the grass, real peaceful, everything. And then Blake Schweitzer joins in, and Evan Thomas is over there. Blake Schweitzer goes and grabs the ball. Evan Thomas comes sprinting out of nowhere. I mean, he came booking it.
I love that,
Blake
man.
and just throws him in the air. Literally, he like spun and hit the ground. I was way far away, just dying laughing. I did tell that story. Fucking hilarious.
Oh my God.
Now we're talking about old days. Let's talk about this Bullitt East basketball run. Did you go to how many games did you go to in that
I had, unfortunately, I didn't make any of the games, but I followed them all really close. And I had coached Tyler Steinmetz and Reese Watson in AAU this summer, so I was pretty close with them, spending the summer with them. I was really hoping they were going to get it done, man. That was a tough loss to Butler, but they made a nice run, and they did they definitely overachieved. I think preseason they were picked number 9. So to be in the region,
in the region,
yeah, nice, right.
Come up second.
So to finish second was a good season for sure. But definitely would like to see Bullitt East get back to state.
What does the record look like at the 2 seed? What did they finish with?
What was their final record?
Yeah,
20-13. But they at one point in the season they were like 12-11. So they got really hot at the end.
Yeah, it's all that matters though. Really, it's all that matters.
Yeah.
And also, you can go 0 and whatever and still make the. You just win your district.
That's what's crazy about Kentucky high school basketball, and is that, there's only one winner. You know, most states have classes now. You know, like 1A, 2A, 3A, but in Kentucky, there's only going to be one basketball state champion, which I think makes it really cool.
Yes.
You know,
that seems more desirable than having
definitely,
the 1A, whatever.
Yeah, you're not even.
I mean, which is not like I'm not shitting on that, but I'm saying like it just seems more divided. Like. Not crapping on cheerleaders, but if you won this county's state, national, aquatic, this or whatever it was, like that's cool. But I feel like there's 40 different divisions in the thing you just competed in.
Yeah, how many national champions are there?
That's what like.
I mean, like I'm genuinely asking.
Exactly.
And like, and if they, and that's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like, if somebody puts in a number, if they were like, there's 20, and then Bullitt East won one, I'd be like, okay, badass, 50, pretty badass, 100, okay. A little bit beyond that, and like the U.S., I've lost you. I mean, come on. I get like age groups and stuff like that, but like national champs, how few are there?
Yeah.
There's
like how many people were there at Disney when they do that?
Oh yeah, when they do the cheerleading thing. Oh,
yeah.
That's insane, dude.
When they
I
have
bet
all
being
those,
there as like not one of that group is like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
It's like just close off the park for them for a day and just tell me to not even come.
No, they'd lose.
I'm sure those girls take over the park quick. And then you have like the co-ed, the all-girl, the small school. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. That's what's so good about the basketball. It doesn't matter if you're Trinity or Bethlehem and Bardstown, you're playing for the same thing. Yeah. And that's the way it should be.
Even in college, there's only like, 4 divisions really? And then after that...
Which I guess there probably... Is there like cheerleading that's like more singular?
Wait, what now?
Is there like cheerleading competition that's more singular? Like if you're like this cheerleading champion, you're like the fucking Mac.
See, I don't know.
That's another thing, because like there's always that, like, which now Kentucky sounds a lot better, I guess, to have. But like if you were, the champion in like Tennessee, it might not mean as much as if you were some champion in like Chicago or something. I know
Kentucky cheerleading is like the biggest, like one of the biggest states, so I know it would be like one of the best ones to win. I do think that co-ed now. I'd probably have some people argue with me, but I think that the co-ed, if you won like the co-ed cheer nationals, that's like the biggest of the biggest.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I probably just offended some people, so
I mean,
so it's that's why it should just be one thing.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm just talking to somebody that doesn't know shit about cheerleading either.
Now that I'm not also in high school, I'm gonna go ahead and go on a limb and say cheerleading is a sport.
I agree.
It's not a competition.
It is a competition. I can agree with that, and I think anything you compete in can be a sport.
I think if you're competing against someone else,
because now I consider weightlifting a certain kind of a sport as well. Like it just depends on what's going on.
I just think as long as there's more than just you competing,
yeah,
it's a sport.
I'm down with that.
That's
what I'm saying. Like the cheerleaders that talked about being in a sport, but were like cheering at basketball games and only basketball games. That's when I was like, "What are you doing? What do you mean?"
Also, nowadays I think we're getting kind of soft in sports too.
We're
getting real soft, whether it be with how we treat like growing kids up to play them, or like whether it be the actual sports themselves, like the NBA getting really soft with fouls, and then like Harden, what was it? The last game against the Celtics had that double step back that was just absolutely atrocious.
Okay, so I'm a little bit more interested in talking still about like the basketball fucking run though.
Right.
When you played though.
Okay.
Talking about when you played.
Yeah.
Who was coach when you were playing?
Coach Troy Barr,
okay.
And he's a city councilman now.
I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah. But he still teach at Bullitt East.
He's the athletic director.
Yeah.
So he's the athletic director. He's a city councilman.
Probably right where he wants to be.
Yeah, I think he's doing great. He's killing it. But yeah, I was fortunate in 2011 with Corey Washburn and Trey Riggs and Rusty Troutman and Derek Willis. We won the 6th region, beat PRP by like 20 in the 6th region championship, and then won a couple games at the state tournament. And I do kind of think we're the forgotten team because, next year Trey hits the big shot.
Okay, I was going to ask you on that team.
Yeah, I wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. We were in 8th grade.
That's the year after me. So they went,
Your all's team, though, was the one we were like, damn, this could be the one.
I know.
We were looking back, it was like, and that was with Derek Willis, right?
Right, yeah. Derek transferred in from Mel that year, and I can remember Coach Barr, he shadowed me at Bullitt East because we were competing with Trinity basically to recruit him to Bullitt East. So he shadowed me.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wait, how does that work? Also, I want to hear about that.
Well, obviously like Trinity and St. X are always accused of recruiting and stuff. I think public schools not so much, but Derek was such a big time player. I mean, heck, he was 6'9" and ended up going to UK. Everybody wanted him.
Yeah, he ended up. Is he still playing in the NBA right now, like G League?
I thought he was at the Pistons or some shit.
He was.
Let's find out.
He's in Germany.
I'll look it up real quick.
He's in Germany, actually.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in Germany.
Okay.
I didn't talk to him not that long ago. He's doing really well.
Maybe that was him tuning in.
That's badass.
Dude, we had a viewer from Germany.
No way.
Like not live, but like over like we had like the little like there's like a thing called Spreaker, and it just gives me like. It tells me
where they're at.
Yeah, whoever's viewing from wherever, and it was Germany podcast.
Might have been. Probably was Derek.
Yeah, he said, "What up, y'all?"
Yeah, that's what's kind of been cool about this whole thing. Like, so when we kind of started putting out that we were gonna have you on, we had some like followers that I kind of remember that who was it? Was it
just like the tweet and stuff like that?
Well, and it was like Lenny Rayleigh followed the Scoops, and
some Bullitt East guys.
some Bullitt East guys,
yeah.
It was just kind of cool.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. Since we were going to talk about the city attorney stuff, I was so lucky to be on that team with those guys because it definitely paid off later, and I don't think I would be in the position I am now if it wasn't for that team. So, shout out to all those guys. I appreciate all you all, and it was an awesome thing to be a part of. That's why anytime like Bullitt East gets close, I want it for those guys so bad because that experience, man, it was still better than anything I've ever experienced at this point.
I can't even the elation.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, running out on Rupp is like I'll never forget this. It's like a cloud. That was like
I feel like the floor just
it was crazy.
Probably shakes, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, I couldn't imagine playing in a big time stadium like that. I bet you were shitting your pants.
Oh, I was so nervous. Yeah, man. I was so nervous. I missed a layup in front of 15,000 people in the first half of the first game.
Imagine playing in front of 15,000 people.
Yeah, man.
Dude.
It was. I'll never forget that. And one really cool thing too about Derek being on the team was Calipari was already interested in him, so we got to see Calipari's office, the UK locker room. Got to
kind of get you guys thirsty.
Yeah, man. We got to do some things that I don't think some other teams were, got to do. So it was awesome.
Do you think like kind of Derek played an influence in getting you guys involved with that as well? Just to kind of like see that kind of thing? Yeah.
Well, Derek was always so cool and such a good teammate. We used to get on him because he was like almost like too quiet and too passive because he's very selfless, and I agree. Yeah, he definitely wanted everybody to get the experience, not just him.
One thing I want to say about Derek, this is kind of more serious, but so I used to sit next to him in pre-cal, and dude, he used to always I'd be like that, but he used to always play Yu-Gi-Oh. You remember those days?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And back then, I used to be like, "What the fuck?" But now I'm like, dude, that was kind of dope that he would play Yu-Gi-Oh for real though. Because I mean, as much as I used to make fun of people playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I play Pokemon now. I would go to class and play Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's almost weird that you're more okay with being who you are now than you were back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what. Now that I'm almost he had it figured out before I did.
Yeah. It's
you know what I'm saying? He was fuck y'all. I like this shit.
He never cared about, he never cared about trying to be a certain type of way or, he had a lot of different friend groups and stuff I remember. I think a lot of us were like that even. That's made that team special. We weren't like your typical jocks.
Yeah.
Even Rusty and all those guys, we were cool with everybody. And
that's how it should be too. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody should be that way. Don't give a shit about what's going on. Just
yeah. Definitely.
You like doing what you want to do, just do whatever.
So as far as when you talk about camaraderie, as far as outside of actual practice and in school activities, were you guys close outside?
For sure. It was a really close group. We used to all go over to Rusty's house and get our hair cut. Rusty was the team barber, and we could all get 3 all-overs, which back then that was cool. I know that's not probably the look anymore. But yeah, man, we were really close. We wanted to look like each other. We wanted to, to spend time outside of basketball. Like I said, we all got along really well. all kinds of hotel stories and a lot of stuff I can't say on here. And we're still cool, so it's kind of like it's a fraternity. Bullitt East basketball definitely is, and it's special to be a part of.
Stuff like that is kind of crazy. Just how close you get to those people.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, even now I kind of remember a lot of the people I played sports with, even just for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
You're really close with those dudes.
And I'll tell you, like, it was interesting something you brought up about like what's happened to sports and things are so different. It's crazy to think nowadays is how much like how parents don't understand their role anymore, and man, that was and like parents are concerned about playing time, and parents are at practices, and like that's something that was like special about like all of our practices were closed. Like we would sometimes we got in fights, we got in fist fights, all kinds of stuff happened while we were together, but it was like we were like a family and everything was inside that family. And I think that's something that's really gotten ruined about sports is
it's not closed doors anymore.
It's not like
it's like we're the team. It's like the media is not part of the team.
Yeah, because it takes a lot. It's a lot easier, like in the grand scheme, to work through that kind of stuff alone. When you say alone with the team, rather than having you and then another 150 million people dealing with it with you,
right?
And talking about you,
like you're focused on basketball, and somebody's talking about like not to go like that scale, but like NBA talking about like getting traded, and you're like, dude, I'm on this season. Like I want to win the championship this year. Can I do that first, and then worry about that later?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like the whole. You guys seen like the Kyrie comments and stuff lately? That's getting pretty crazy.
Did you see where the day today that was like Bleacher Report like basically set it up to where the comment looked worse than it was, but he was like, I'm not gonna miss any of this shit, and he's basically just saying he's not gonna miss the media being all up on his face.
That's literally. I read the whole thing after just so I could like get the spectrum and like that. It was like he was like, I didn't start playing basketball like. Or he goes like, when I was younger, I did play basketball to be famous, but he goes at this point like I'm literally here to play basketball like the highest level I can.
Yeah, he's like, I'm older now. I'm not wanting to.
And like he said, I'm just not. This isn't what I came here for. I don't want mics, cameras in my face, and like I can appreciate that to a huge extent.
Did you see what LeBron did today? Or not, maybe not today, but there's a shoot around. You can find it on Twitter. Bleacher Report was tweeting about it. Whoever that guy is, Dave Portnoy or whatever.
Yeah.
He quoted it and was like, he's the biggest D-bag ever. So basically, you've got like, there's two guys like I guess doing like like before games, they'll have two guys just stand there in front of a mic going, yeah, we're here at the Lakers, blah blah blah. They had that and the two light things set up, and LeBron bounced the ball behind them, and it bounced over them and hit the light thing and knocked it over and like basically broke it. And he did it on purpose. Like and they were like, "What the hell is this?" Like they're like, "What?" And people were like, "Why would he even do that?" Which he's kind of been acting strange this season.
Yeah, he has been in his feelings a little bit. You can tell. Yeah, that's definitely a petty move.
I think he fucked the team up. In all honesty, he probably did fuck at least the franchise altogether.
See, I think they'll be better for it a little bit later.
Yeah, like right now they're fucked up. Like I'm saying, like
that's what I'm saying. I feel like here in like 3 or 4 years they could turn the ship. Because like for me, it is like they had something going. But that something wasn't going far.
I think LeBron's kind of like, y'all can be some temporary ass motherfuckers. I've shipped people out before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I feel like he should be that way. Because I feel like at the end of the day, everybody's like, he's not playing defense and all this, and like he's not. But like, those are like specific plays. But my whole point about LeBron, like he has nothing left to prove. And two, like it's not LeBron. It's you that has to prove something to LeBron and me.
And LeBron at this point wants to, exactly. LeBron has proven himself. You have not. If you have a 30-point game, good for you.
That's what I'm saying. But like and I feel like a lot of him like giving up on these plays. Like some of it's like other players fucking shit up, and like he just like he looks exhausted with.
People shit on the play where LeBron's at down low waiting for like. So Contavious Caldwell-Pope shoots it, and LeBron kind of like looks like rolls his eyes and like kind of starts walking off real slow. But that's because Contavious Caldwell-Pope gets it for a three. It's deep. And then LeBron's being guarded by a guard down low. Wanting to go, hey, give me the ball for this layup. And Caldwell-Pope just chucks it up and breaks it. So LeBron's like, what the fuck? So you don't know if he's getting pissed off at other players like not playing defense.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it has a lot to do with his own frustration. But two, like I feel like maybe he knows something as far as like the season itself.
Or more than we know.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like after the AD thing didn't happen, they're just kind of like, we're not going anywhere.
He basically showed his hand, and then the AD thing doesn't happen. Then you got to be basically
you're fucked.
Now you got to live with these guys you try to kick out, but they're not going anywhere now.
Yeah, now they're not going to make the playoffs.
Right. So it's and I would think with LeBron, which I think since Tyrone Lue or whatever his name was, he's basically been handpicking his own coach. So that's a
They're
weird
talking about trying to bring him back in, I heard.
yeah, it's a weird dynamic. Him
I wonder
picking
if,
the coach.
I wonder if he kind of rigs it a little bit to go. I'm gonna make this team kind of suck, so Luke Walton can get his ass out of here. Let me get my coach in here. But I mean, I don't know how that works. I don't know how much LeBron comes in and just a force and goes, "Hey, I'm cleaning house."
I think he basically. Well, I really think that if he wants Luke Walton gone, Luke Walton's going to be gone, and I fully expect Luke Walton to be fired at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And that just after with playing sports and stuff, and that's something that is kind of wrong in the NBA with these superstars. Like, how do you play with somebody who is completely authority is over the coach? Like,
Yeah.
it's just that's a weird dynamic. You got all those young guys in the
I think it all
locker room
depends. I think if you've got a true coach, like I think that's almost your fault for letting the player be in there that's a little bit smarter than the coach too. Because like I feel like if you couldn't, if you wanted to, you couldn't be a smarter. You couldn't put a player on the Spurs right now that's going to outsmart Pop.
Yeah.
Same thing with Boston.
They've had a lot of success because
nobody's
of that, yeah.
out coaching Brad Stevens. Like anybody comes there, he's going to teach them how to do some shit. It's like not the other way around. LeBron went there and Tyronn Lue, he was like, so this is how that's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tyronn, like for the most part, had to be kind of like, okay.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Like and it was like hard because LeBron's got all this credibility.
Yeah, I think he definitely needs a big name coach to kind of tame that.
That's what I'm saying. Like he needs somebody that LeBron can't call, and that's even if LeBron is making these calls.
Right.
that we're saying.
And the coach, it's like, fuck you, I don't care.
Yeah, like
LeBron.
literally, he's like,
I'm this. So
I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, and to relate that to Bullitt East, like Coach Barr was like dad. Like he was like there was no crossing him. Like I have some crazy stories of like him. Like he's telling us he's gonna fight all of our dads. He'll do it but it was good though because he was the boss. Like there was no like
you kind of gotta
be like that.
You can't even give up once.
No, man. He called. I mean, he called us MFers. He whatever. But it was all love though, and it was like we deserved it. But that was
and
like
it's also just words.
And that's
as much as words are words, they are sometimes.
Well, that's part of the thing. Like
he was our leader. And we needed that.
Did you see Chris Mack call from what I understand, the players a bunch of pussies.
Yeah, right on TV.
Yeah,
were they not being a bunch of pussies?
Yeah, they should.
And that's like my thing. Like, are you too prideful to say you've finished something like physical? Like even me, like I've gotten done with a basketball game and we lost. I'm like, I was being a pussy.
Yeah, I literally go, dude, I fucking suck.
And that happens, and like everybody gets all mad. Like, dude, Cal is a dirty mouth motherfucker, but that's how it's got to be. Yeah. That's part of the camaraderie.
Yeah. It is, and that's like,
sounds like you're talking to each other like sailors, and to each other it's just regular every day.
Sometimes it's just the best way to say it. Yeah. You're just being real.
Yeah. It's like Jimmy Butler was saying, like whenever he's on the court, he's like, I'm saying this because I want to win basketball. I'm not saying this because I'm getting pissed off at you or because, like, if I say, hey, get the fuck over here, I'm saying that because it's the quickest way to say it. So fucking get over there. Like, he's like he's trying to say, like, serious. So it's not anything. Once we're off the court, it's not basketball anymore.
Yeah.
It's different.
The F word is a necessary word. There's a reason why it's in the language.
Yeah. It brings a level of, like, urgency.
Yes.
Yeah.
When someone has that tone and says fucker, you're like, damn.
It's got to happen sometimes.
Need something different, yeah.
Like Michael Jordan punching Steve Kerr during the game, like, or during a practice, something like that. It's gonna happen. You ever heard about that?
What was the one? What was it? Didn't Isaiah Thomas like pretty much choke out his coach?
You mean Pistons Isaiah Thomas or Celtics?
Yeah, Pistons Isaiah Thomas.
Probably.
Oh, for sure.
I'm pretty sure he was the one that like walked up on his coach and like grabbed him by the neck and like fucking choked him for a second, and then just like stopped. And the coach was like,
did he play at Indiana for Bob Knight? I think that may be wrong, but
I think he may have.
I think he may
Let's
have.
find out, boys.
He probably got that from coach.
Yeah. Throwing chairs and shit.
Yeah.
I remember some story about what's his name at Bullitt East, that old football coach we used to have. The field was named after him.
Egan.
That's what I thought. Egan,
yeah, yes. Egan. Yeah, he's a legend.
But he there was like a football helmet and like I guess on the basketball court, and somebody said something that pissed him off, so he ran and kicked the helmet and it hit a basketball player in the head. So they ended up having to like kind of make him retire. They were like, "Hey, you need to go ahead and just call it quits because you just fucked somebody up or could have."
Oh yeah, nowadays if that happened nowadays, that'd be national Twitter viral.
Dude, seriously, some of the things that happened back then, I'm thinking today would have been like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine. So I have to also get to this serious level. Imagine like so back in the day, you remember that?
Ladies and gentlemen, he played for University of Indiana.
Awesome.
So yeah, he probably did.
Ka-ching.
You know, Bob Knight chokes him out, and he chokes somebody else out. Circle of life.
Yep.
Works out karma both ways.
He didn't think anything about it. He was just used to it. Yep.
What was I talking
about? 79 to 81.
Okay. When did Bob Knight get fired?
I don't know. I can't. It's been a while. Been a long time now.
He played when Louisville won a championship, right?
Yeah.
80 and I'm gonna sound like a terrible Louisville fan not knowing these for sure dates. Is it 80 and 83?
I was 83 and 86.
80, 86.
Okay.
Is it 80, 86?
80, 86.
Okay.
So you guys were all over it. Together, you would have got it.
God, I suck. And 2013. Oh.
2013. Oh, yeah.
We're still
I might be
counting.
thinking about that.
All right, so we've been here for about 45 minutes.
I just
I'm
looked
gonna
up
go
Bob
into
Knight.
some
Apparently, he's not doing so hot right now.
like in like
Health.
Did you see Roy Williams collapsed at the game?
Oh,
the other day?
yeah.
Yeah.
So Bob Knight,
Yeah, it was
he was
crazy with Roy.
damn. He quit coaching in 2000 for Indiana.
Okay. That dude, him just
He was
quitting, or-
Texas Tech from 2001 to 2008.
Okay, I didn't know he was coaching that long. Damn.
Jesus.
How about, have you seen this Bill Walton shit? Have you seen this stuff, dude?
I mean, I know. I don't know what y'all got. I know about Bill Walton. What y'all got on him?
The guy's just like randomly in the middle of the game. He just goes, 10 years ago, last week, February something, I was gonna kill myself. Rock bottom, had nothing to do. But now, I have everything.
He literally
Grabs
said
these
that.
chocolates, he goes,
Wow.
wow, these chocolates. Rubbing
Rubbing him on his face.
Dude, it's so
Oh,
funny.
He's having these
gosh.
chocolates. Oh, like rubbing these
I know the
chocolates. on-
guys whoever you can tell that whoever he is announcing the game with or whatever
They get uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're uncomfortable because they're anytime they get him, they're just like fuck.
Yeah.
Like that, you can't stay on cue. You can't he's
Yeah.
just off the
God,
wall.
I
But
couldn't even imagine.
he's good TV.
He's commentating some UCLA game.
Mm-hmm.
And UCLA missed a free throw. He's like, UCLA is first in the conference and worst in free throw shooting. And they're playing Maryland, and he's like, and Maryland is last in the conference and second in free throw shooting. And it's like a long pause, and the commentator goes, okay.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, well, and he goes, I really don't know. That was it. It's
That's
so
his
funny.
thing, though. He's played it well, and he's on
Oh, yeah,
TV
as long
still.
as you're
So
like-
he's different. So
Oh,
it's
I for sure keep him on because that's
It's great
gold.
entertainment.
It's
Yeah.
just a great entertainment. So just keep it on.
Yeah. No, when I saw that, I didn't even get to see it live. I could have died.
That's another thing. If you've got something to say, people will go, "What the fuck?" Then people will watch. It's kind of weird.
shock factor.
Yeah, the shock factor is like, okay, like Alex Jones, favorite guy in the world, to listen to, just goes half the shit. Sometimes he'll seriously. Have you watched the Alex Jones?
I haven't yet.
Dude, sometimes he's gotcha. Like
Yes.
seriously, you're like, no way, and then he throws out some like. He'll be like, yeah, and the government's Nazis actually were with interdimensional aliens, and now they're getting technology through DMT use, and you're like, what's happening? What?
See, some of it, like, he starts justifying, and then I wonder if I'm crazy for believing it. But then some of it he's right about, and I hate it.
Some of it is he's like, it's like I'm okay with being speculative about this.
Yeah.
We need people like that too, the people that question.
That's what I
everything.
said. Because when he kind of started breaking down for a second, he's like, listen. He was like, I'm doing this as somebody that is fucking actually curious.
And concerned.
That's what he said. He said, I'm fucking worried. And he was like,
talking about like fucking so, and this makes a lot of sense. Too.
talking about the
Like,
mayor that he was talking about?
I don't think it's, I'm talking about the abortion thing.
Yeah, the mayor.
Yeah, I forgot about that guy. The mayor of Virginia. So the first part is when you see these Republicans, like when they pass this New York bill to like pass like late term abortions, and then like getting excited and like celebrating. You're like, why are you celebrating that hard about it? Because one, if you're celebrating it because you just beat the Dems, that's the worst. That basically almost says to me, I'm only passing this bill to say fuck the Democrats, and if you're otherwise, you're only doing it for that reason. But he was saying like they have these babies come out and like they like give birth, and then like they have the babies and keep them comfortable and warmth and like keep them alive for a little while and bunch of shit. He was basically saying that he's speculative that they're taking these babies and harvesting their
The way
organs
the
Oh my
the way
gosh,
the
yes, instead of
crazy.
but
committing
listen,
abortions.
the way they described it. So the harvesting thing's the far part, but
Mhm.
what they're talking about the babies is that the governor says something along the lines of like they'll resuscitate, then ask the mother what she wants to do. So the claim is that like, what if the baby doesn't resuscitate
Wow.
and you
Oh,
tell
yeah.
the mother it died? And that's what they think happens to like a lot of these babies. And he thinks that like somewhere in
Whoa.
China, they're like, and it's real fucking crazy that they're buying their fucking organs and shit. But like, the way he talked about it happening sounds crazy, but the beginning of it is what gets you in it. Why the fuck would they say it like that? And why the fuck are they all okay with it? And
Yeah.
why does it's so strange?
And he was talking about like correlating it with like if like say I got in a car wreck and I'm really beat up, like I'm basically almost dead.
Mhm.
I got a really bad back problem. Probably not gonna make it. And they just go, well, we can keep him alive and take his organs. Like what I'm saying, they'll just say he died. And then really,
Yeah.
that's crazy to think about too, because they could. And it's not saying that they are doing that, but people
Right.
could do that, and it'd be really
Well,
hard to.
I will say, we were talking about like legislation and passing bills that the majority of the time when a bill or something is passed, there is a like secret intent that's not on the face of the bill,
So,
right?
yeah.
Somebody
that's
don't sell it.
striving
But
to do that.
there's a reason. There's another reason besides the headline that they're doing that.
Yeah,
or, you
yeah.
know, so
I see what you're
it's
saying.
actually, I mean, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Or like you're like somebody will say this reason, you're going, oh yeah, that's what we're doing it for. But really, there's another reason. Like
Oh, definitely.
like when he's like, yeah, because even in the interview, the governor's like, or the mayor of Virginia, whatever that city was.
Maybe he was the
I
governor.
think it was the governor of Virginia. Yeah, somebody higher.
It might
up.
have been the governor.
But and he was like, yeah, these guys shouldn't be saying what women can do with their bodies. And it's like, are you saying that so we won't question it? So you can say, hey, you're just saying that because women's bodies. It's like, dude, no.
And and I'm not getting all on board with that kind of thing, but when he goes on about it and I start reading some of this shit, like they talk about like this, they've had a VR headset since like the 50s
right.
that could like do smell and all this shit.
Yeah, technology, and yeah, it's one thing where you're like, well, where are we at really right
Well,
now?
yeah, and that's like, so they talked about like that, and then like gosh, what were they?
5G being away for like mind control.
Well,
being
because
away
they
to
talk
tamper with
about
your thoughts or something.
5G itself, like trying to bring it to the U.S. could like hurt people.
Wow.
Yeah, like it could hurt you like it's like a brain thing. They've done studies.
Yeah.
and you can look them up.
And they talk, and that makes me wonder like, what's LTE doing to me right now?
Have you
I
seen
know
this?
what's our phone doing this to us every day.
Yeah.
I've thought about that too.
Yeah, like the phone can be fucking
Just
up.
holding it, yeah.
And
what
it's like,
is it send? Yeah, and like, what are they listening to too? Like,
and it's like little shit like that, and it's not like, I think people are like more like, yeah, they're watching on your phone, but I think it's more so like, I don't think they're sitting here watching on your phone, but more something like small, I feel like is what they're saying. Like they would play this certain tone that would make you act this way or whatever it is. It's like
Your
they'd make you
phone's
feel
always
this.
listening, especially if you have Siri on.
Well, no, I'm just saying like, I'm
Yeah.
saying people I feel like
I know my
over
phone's
speculate
listening.
if they're making like a conspiracy, I feel like they over speculate what it is, and that's why they lose people rather than trying to be realistic about it. So like, rather than saying the fucking towers are going to take over my brain and I'm going to kill everyone, maybe it's they play this certain frequency that makes me sad, so therefore I blow all my money. Now I'm poor, and this area is going to be
Right,
not
yeah.
wealthy, or something like something
knows?
little.
Just the waves are
There's
fucking
more
right
like
up,
that,
you know?
yeah,
and
yeah.
like it's kind of crazy because they talked about like how they purposely gave people like syphilis and stuff like that back in like the what was it 60s.
There's a lot of
They
shit
did it
kinda
on
fucked up
purpose,
in the 50s
and then they
80s.
made them like they encouraged them to spread it and not tell anybody.
Dude, people get pissed about cameras, dude, but thank God we have cameras now because it'd be a lot harder. or a
And then
lot
we
easier
tried
for them to
blowing up
fuck
the
shit.
atmosphere.
Yeah. Set off a nuke in the air just to see what.
No,
fuck
like
it
a
up.
bunch. We tried, like we almost did that. Our Air Force almost set off a bunch of nukes in the fucking sky to see if we could blow up the atmosphere.
Let's see if it's real.
I'm glad they didn't. I hope
Me
they
too.
didn't. They may have. We don't know.
Now
Maybe
we're
we
talking about
don't.
this. Let's talk about this Michael Cohen stuff real quick. Just
Okay.
to get
Okay.
there.
I want
What
you
kind of
guys
stuff
to
do you know
start.
about it? What kind of? Let me hear what you.
The Michael Cohen thing. I know that what recently, right? He flipped on his boy. You know, I know he was
Yeah.
Trump's
So
right
the
hand
big
man.
speculation is like that he basically is already lied under oath to the government to basically like get out of his sentencing, and which see what I can get that, and I can also get the side of this guy probably felt like he was immune. If I was in his position, I'm the president of the United States, like right hand man. I'm probably thinking, what the fuck, you can't touch me, and all of a sudden I'm going to jail. What's happening here? So now I'm gonna go. All right, I was lying before because I thought I was invincible. So now fuck him. He doesn't help me now, and he kind of threw me under the bus.
And I think that's what needed to happen all along.
yeah,
I think he just needs to be held accountable. And I'm not saying like, I'm not like this big like against Trump because like there are certain things that I do kind of like, but like for the most part, there are just certain things that need to be like, hey, why did this happen? Not just move. And that's like the end of it.
Also, talking about impeaching, people also don't get, which me and Cole talked about this many times before, but impeaching doesn't also mean he's going to be removed. He just be impeached. Like, you can also, I looked this up earlier too, because I kind of want to know. I always forget. No one has technically been impeached and removed. They've only been impeached by the
Right.
House. No one has been fully impeached also by the Senate. So, Nixon, Clinton, and Andrew Johnson are the only three to ever have been impeached by the House. But none of them have actually. Nixon resigned. Clinton finished his sentence. I think Andrew Johnson may have finished his. But it's just like, it's the part where you're like, when do you make it okay to say, okay, we're going to remove him? Because then you're opening a floodgate to when next time this happens. When is it okay?
It just more freaks me out with like relations in the world is what I'm
yeah.
getting concerned with.
Yeah, and I think that's what's crazy. What blows my mind, and I don't even know my stance on Trump. Like, pretty similar. You know, I like some things that he's doing. Some things about him I can't stand. But
Yep.
I guess what amazes me is I think a lot of people still don't believe what this Michael Cohen guy's saying. They're still
and some of it,
like, and I know he's flipping and he's motivated now against them and not everything, but it's like where there's smoke, there's fire. Like
exactly.
Like I mean, to say
that's what I'm saying. Like
Donald Trump is corrupt. I just said it on the podcast. Like he 100% is. It's proven. I'm not saying that.
No, it's proven.
It's proven, and I just don't understand how people.
All of it has to be for sure fact. It's like some of it has to be.
Right,
I mean,
and it's okay if you still.
That's what I'm.
It's okay if you still think he should be the president. It's okay if you still support his policies and that's what you want. That's fine. But it just amazes me how people, and this is what I'm frustrated with politics right now, both ways, is people treat politics like UK UVL. They're like fan bases, like.
Dude, it's crazy.
I'm a Louisville fan. I think I'm a UK hater. I think UK sucks. Obviously they don't, but I'm a Louisville fan, so I don't like UK. I don't like their players. I don't like their coaches. But politics, that's how people treat politics. They're just like all in with their side. They don't use their head.
I'm about to go in on this because I fucking hate it. Seriously, it's like what you're saying about the UK UVL, that's a game. It's not going to affect my life. Yeah. People that are like, I talk about like Bernie, shitting on Bernie, they're like, people who have their opinions. I'm like, you can about basketball, but when you're talking about a guy that's going to be affecting all of us, 300 million people, I can say your opinion shit all I want because it is.
Yeah.
Like, not to shit on Bernie either. I've talked about it many times before, but that's another thing. But yeah, you can go back to what you were saying. Sorry.
No, man, I totally agree with all that. And I learned that in law school, too. When I got to law school, I really was kind of set in my ways. Because you get, you are what your parents tell you. And I think people, like, be real, everybody. Like, whatever religion you are, whatever politics you view is because your dad told you that. Your dad told you that was right. And you were a kid and you believed him. But, like, when I got to law school, so I'm sitting here with everything my dad told me and I'm thinking everything's right. And then once I get in these law school classes, I'm kind of like, oh shit, that maybe he's right. And then the opposite,
you branch out, you're like, whoa.
That's what happened to me.
The person on the opposite side will like make a really good counter argument, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think she's right. And then all of a sudden I figured out I don't know what I think, but at least I'm honest that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit over here and just pick a side anymore.
I'm kind of that way with everything now. Mm-hmm. Like, 'cause there's so much, like, as much as you look up facts about one thing, somebody can pull up something else. It's like, what about this? It's like, well, then what the fuck?
Yeah.
So anytime anybody, sometimes, like, even on the way here, I was thinking, what if they asked me about this? Like, I don't even know my opinion on that because I just don't know.
I'm all right.
But we're getting too big of a back and forth because a lot of things too is I wonder if people are just shitting on Comey just because, or Cohen.
Yeah.
It's just because Cohen, just because just to be like fuck the Democrats, just like.
See, I heard he had a lot of proof and like pointed them in right directions.
So he had a check that was a $35,000 signed Donald Trump check it's just a check though. That's the problem. You can say the reason for this check, but Donald Trump could be writing you a check for whatever. But his claim is that it's a reimbursement for the $130,000 check he wrote to pay off Stormy Daniels. And there's another thing where like Trump knew about the WikiLeaks information right before it came out. Like, that's a big one too.
Get into that. Go.
This is some Russian
what is that?
Deal.
The WikiLeaks.
So that's where they released that. Did they release the full emails, or did they release that there are emails hidden out there that they were
I think a lot of them got released, but I mean, basically they just put Clinton on.
That's when Clinton got on the map for the emails thing.
Yeah, they just completely exposed her. Just basically
exposed her that the emails were gone, or of what were in the emails.
See, that's what I'm not.
Like
I can't
misusing her government email account for wasn't. Basically,
I don't think anybody really knows what the emails are, except for a few. I think it's just that there were emails that
mishandling it, and using it for private business and just stuff you're not supposed to do. And
there's another one where he met with Donald Trump Jr. and
I did see that one.
Donald Trump Jr. came in and he claimed around the time of the Trump Tower deal in Russia, he was like come in and gave him some like whispering thing. He was like talking about a meeting that he had that was just so happened to be right around that time, and Trump was like, "That's great. Let me know how it goes." And also when you look back at the Trump meeting stuff, and at the beginning, what's his name? Trump Jr. was like, "Yeah, we just went over there for something else. Like it wasn't even involved in the Trump Tower. It was like, yeah, we were just he wants to see about adopting Russian kids into America." But it wasn't even about that at all. It was about the fucking. Then he comes out and goes, "Yeah, we talked a little bit about the election stuff." And you're just like, "Oh, so now you're like, we did talk." See, now it's like you're getting into questioning. Now you're like, "Okay, well, both sides. There's got to be some kind of lying here, even if it's not all true."
There's all kinds of lying.
Saying it's like, you've got to believe at least some of it. This dude is doing shit that's fucked up. And my mom the other day was like, I told her about him paying off Stormy Daniels, and she was like, "So?" I was like, "What do you mean, so?" You're literally, I'm like, you're only saying that because it's the war. Like you're talking about. You just wanted to be on your side.
Well, some people want to think that those kind of people can't do any wrong, and that's like when I started growing up, I realized like there are dads that are shitty dads, and there are moms that are shitty moms.
Shitty everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are shitty
Yeah.
people. So like
Yeah.
that's like the part of it. Like there are fucking shitty people out there.
And kind of the lead in, I know y'all wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, being an attorney, and even that's something I've learned since I've been an attorney here locally, is that just because somebody's wearing a badge or just because somebody's got the suit and the title on, you cannot necessarily just guarantee, you know, you still got to kind of feel your way around them, because you don't know what their intentions are. That, you know, politics are so heavily involved in everything. There's people that are upset that I got appointed the city attorney. There's people that are happy for me. Sometimes it's hard to know.
That'd be weird to be like, people mad about me. Like, what? They don't even know me.
Exactly.
Like, know you, dude. That's
Absolutely.
crazy.
People down here that I don't know. Some people are upset about me starting this office. I mean, because it's competition, and you just. And one thing I will say in Trump's defense about the whole thing is that to become so powerful, you're gonna have to fuck some people over, and you're gonna have to do some dirty things at times.
Someone's gotta take this shit in.
You know, and nowadays with this social media and stuff, I really think that almost all of your former presidents, if they were in this era, would have had the exact kind of issues come up, probably, because
not all, but some of them. Some of them, you know, they go, yeah, he would for
nowadays everything is so, you know, we get this information. You know, in the 40s or something, this stuff wouldn't come out.
Yeah.
Also, being at the top like that, and in the world we live in now, and feeling like you're invincible, like Trump does, probably.
Yeah.
Trump probably feels like I'm untouchable right now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously, like, and he almost.
I mean, as far as he's concerned, yeah, he is.
As far as right now, he really is though. Like, because even if you did find a lot of shit on him, it's hard to like be like, okay, get him out of there. It's more so just like, well, just wait out 2 years and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, how do you just absolutely put somebody on blast, or like know for sure that they've done something illegal and then just like not? See, that's where I'm at. Everybody's like, well, and I'm literally like, well, go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like, somebody do, like, let's act. Nobody's done shit. I feel like we're sitting here like, you know what you did? And he's like, yep. And nobody said anything else. That's it. That's where the conversation's at.
One thing that's annoying too, it's really common when you bring up something like this and they're like, well, this person did this. It's like, then they're both wrong. I mean, what?
Right.
Just bringing up a past person that got away with it does not make it go, well, good, he can get away with it too. It's like, why are you not mad about both people?
Yeah, and you know, politics are cut off to like regular day guys like us, you know, and that's one thing that's kind of that's bad about the American system is if you're not elite, if you're not born into an elite family, if you didn't get funneled to Harvard or Yale, you have no shot at being the president. You really don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, Obama was definitely kind of an outlier to that, but still, I know he was
money too, though.
You know, he had money, and he definitely, I'd say he was elite before he was ever even considered running for president. So it's just, you know, it's not the. You know, anybody's supposed to be able to run for president. Anybody's supposed to be able to have access to that, and it's just not really the case. So all of us regular day people are just down here living, and these elitists are in charge of everything. So
think how many people too that you hear people go, I'd vote for them, but I mean they really don't have a shot because you know that there's the corrupt people at the top going, oh, we can rig this pretty well for us to make it. And it's like even the DNC last election, they had proven that it was basically rigged for Clinton to beat out Sanders.
Yeah,
like that's ridiculous. Like, and they're still just going, whatever, shrug it off. Like, we're just literally, I think they literally hope and pray that like just years go by and people go, oh, I'll forget. But that's how it is. The average person will
basically,
forget.
Yeah.
Because I usually do until basically recently I tried to start like at least like jostling back into stuff just to keep my memory of it available, or at least like when someone brings it up, it's kind of dope.
Yeah. Because
it's easy to forget and just toss it in the background.
And I don't really know where to stand at this point because it's like. So I keep on like wanting to pick like a candidate, but I feel like it's almost like even if I really like a candidate, which I do, they will turn him into something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you gotta pick the one that won't join and go, oh, now I'm part of it.
Yeah. Which I'm on the Yang train right now. I can't even fucking fight it.
On Yang's Wang.
Yeah. I mean, I am.
But yeah. See, but this is what sucks though, is I want him to win, but I know he won't. I just know he won't be popular enough. That's what and that's the thing. Like Rogan said, that's a popularity contest.
Mm-hmm.
See, you don't think it'll be popular enough? I think how fast he's raising this money right now is kind of crazy.
But see, I mean, even if he's at the top, there's still a way for them to go. Nah, we don't want him in there. Fuck him. And hopefully we can catch him. But we caught him last time. What we do? Nothing.
I've learned too. No predictions anymore. You know, Trump was supposed to lose, so I don't trust the polls. Yeah, don't trust the polls. Don't you know, it's hard to say.
That day was one of the weirdest days I looking back on. When I was like, because it didn't necessarily seem unreal at the time, but now it seems back looking back on it when everyone was like, how many people you heard that did not want him in there, and then over half of was the general population? Did he win the general vote? I think he did.
I don't think he won general.
Yeah, but he won in
I thought he won.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. How can you do that? But
Yeah,
yeah,
see, it's-
he
yeah,
like
how can
dominated
you-
the election, but didn't get the most votes, which is a
because of the states. Like, how's that
Yeah,
work?
that's what it was.
That's,
That's what I remember watching it with my mom. I was like, "Yeah, it's going great." She's like, "No, it's not." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
But he has more than. That's not how it works here. Oh, what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know, but I think in 2020, I think people, hopefully.
I mean, who do you think is realistically?
See, if I'm serious too, if they put up a shit person in the Democratic Party, I'll vote Independent or Republican. I'll just vote Trump again. I'll just say 4 more years of shit, because you're just putting up shit against them. So you're wasting my time and everybody else's.
Well, what do you prefer? Less stinky shit though.
I like it almost better. See, this is what's tough. Like, do you go with more candidates instead of just 2 going against each other and no parties, or do you? This is what's scary too. Is it's like people don't. There's so many people in this country to get a general consensus on what we should do is going to be impossible.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely that middle. And maybe it might evolve over time. There's kind of that middle party that's out there that we're probably all kind of in. Is we're not far on the right, not far somewhere.
Somewhere in the middle.
There's a reasonable party out there somewher. It's just can the masses form, and
there really
can,
is.
Can the reasonable people get together? But like I said, the elitists and stuff. There's a reason they've got a 2-party system. They've got a lot of mechanisms in place to keep them in control.
Where independents have no chance. Like,
Right.
even Yang was like, "I'm just running Democrat because I know if I run independent, there's no chance."
What do you think about universal based income, or the freedom dividend is what they'll call it? It's $1,000 a month to anyone 18 and over.
And
Or
it's
is
paid for by the tax on robots used by like Amazon shit instead of human.
Wow. So everybody would get it then. Everybody would.
So
get this?
essentially, everybody. So
And you use it on
essentially,
whatever, it's on top of your job.
and what they would do is they go after like elitist companies. So like if Amazon had 40,000 people doing this, and they said fuck that, and they put this many robots in here, they'd put a huge tax on those robots.
And
then a big part of it was like animated.
So that would
trucking.
definitely be like a trickle up economics idea. And I mean, I do think that there's a lot of data out there that says trickle up economics works. But then, man, that sounds great. I don't know how that would actually work, though. I don't know. Then that just inflates everything because now everybody's got $1,000 more. Now we're just going to make everything more expensive to make up for that.
Right now, we're definitely not going towards the robotic side of everything, which we need to be getting closer to that, because it's like, even if it's not that.
See,
close,
I think we kind of are.
Well, I think Bernie wanted to get in there and raise minimum wage to these jobs. Like, those aren't going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay these robots $15 an hour. You know what I'm saying? It's like.
See, that's why I kind of don't care what he's talking about. Like, seriously, a lot of the shit he's talking about, like, is seriously. I'm more concerned about what my little brother is going to get to do when he's out of high school.
Yeah.
In 5 years.
Also, people talk about technology isn't going as fast as we think. 4 years ago, I don't even think like that kind of thing was even a discussion. I mean, we're 4 years later, now we're talking about robots taking over small jobs. Like 2016, I don't remember me talking about.
See, but I think it just wasn't like. See, like, and that's kind of like part of the point. Like, I feel like that just wasn't something we were talking about just because we weren't. But like, crazy robots and shit have been around forever.
Oh, I know.
Like, that do all kinds of crazy shit. And like, that's just the point. Like, the whole robotics thing not happening. I think that's happening, especially in where I'm working, like fucking lightning fast.
Mm-hmm.
We're also getting like cheaper ways to make them too. All this different shit. Got ones that can jump and do backflips, pick up boxes, and when you knock out its hand, you can find the box and go
But
grab it.
everything's becoming that way. Like, even so, the garbage truck pulled up the other day. Nobody got out. The arm came down, grabbed my fucking can, dumped it in, dumped it out, grabbed the other one. Did the same
the
thing.
guy's job out for sure.
It's a job. It's going away.
Yeah.
And like, I know somebody's still driving the truck, and that's fine. But like, that's like part of it. And all they had to do was pull the thing up to the arm that already existed.
Then Bernie's talking about promising jobs. Where are these jobs coming from? We're losing them. Like, I mean, like, seriously.
See, I'm not with any of this, but I think some of it makes more sense than people give it credit to. Because like, I'm like, I'll give them a job. It's just not going to be what they want to do.
Right.
And that's like back to the whole thing. Like, because I feel like, and I'm not like this at all either. People are like, I don't like socialism or communism and shit like that, which like obviously hasn't worked so far. But the whole point is like, that's still to me is all based on like human greed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It doesn't like come down to the system itself failing. It comes down to people in their minds being like, yeah, well, I don't have anything to work for, then fuck them.
And that's like, and the person at the top going, well, I got it all, so I ain't got to worry about it if we go poor.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, if everybody was equal and like we were making, like me and you were working real hard and we just made what we made, though, like there would be no motivation, is like most of the claims, and like, no motivation to advance and that kind of thing. And like that's just people being like I seriously, my thing is if I can get by with somebody else like being able to get by, I think that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I think it's crazy. There's people that got shit. Like
Also, what's their
like there's
thing,
all
how
kinds
good
of
yours?
fucking homeless people around like here.
Right.
mhm.
And even then, I'm like,
I
how?
notice them by the office all the time.
Yeah, and how are there like fucking? And like, I'm not saying somebody needs to go out there and fucking furnish these people, but like, how do we? Especially here, it's not even that bad. How do we have people that just like can't eat,
Right. Well,
like and can't sleep in like a safe place?
Especially when it's available.
And we got people like us that grew up in like these neighborhoods and shit. Like not talking shit, but you know,
yeah.
we just grew up, you know, where we grew up, telling these people tough. Like I didn't
That's-
sleep in dirt. Like I slept next to my brother.
Under a
Like
blanket.
in like a fucking my own bedroom.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think I struggle. One thing that, as an attorney, I really try to do is I try to have empathy, man. I try to
Yeah.
have empathy for people. I try to understand that their circumstances and stuff are I can't put my head around them, you know, because I didn't experience that.
It's
and
impossible
I think
sometimes.
people struggle. A lot of people don't have any empathy, man, and I just
They say that's going down with like the generation now at this point.
They do,
Empathy,
yeah.
empathy's just falling. See, and I feel like I can't fight that, and I almost hate that.
I'm the same. Yeah, I thought. God.
Dude, I hate seeing homeless people because like it's fine like when it's happening or whatever. It's not fine like 5 minutes later.
No, it's
like
not,
5 minutes later. I'm like a little bit down the road. I'm like thinking about what he's about to do that afternoon and like how fucking cold it was me walking to my car.
I also think, what made you get there?
And that's yeah.
It's like, what happened in your life to where
Yeah.
now you like, you don't have anything.
Well,
you're like
and-
begging for food.
and kind of like going through the process of becoming an attorney, there's so many you have to pay to take the LSAT. Costs $1,000. You have to send applications into law schools. They cost $50 an application. When you go to law school, it costs $20,000 a year, and then you got to buy books every semester that are $800 at least. And then you got to have suits. And you got to have the clothes, or you're not going to fit in. And then you got to have a MacBook because everybody else has a MacBook, or you're not going to be able to do the. You're not going to be able to keep up with the curriculum, and it's just on and on and on. Then you go to take the bar exam. I paid $1,000 to take the bar exam. I paid $3,000 to take a class to take the bar exam. There's so many obstacles that I understand that if I didn't have my parents, if I didn't have some of the support that I had, that there was no way that I could have done that. That
Yes.
it is not true in America that if you just want to be a lawyer, it doesn't, if you're a poor poverty kid in Shepherdsville and you want to be a lawyer, if I had to be honest with the kid, I'd have to say no, you can't, because you're not going to be able to afford all this.
We were talking about what it takes to be a U.S. citizen. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? And like how
Yeah.
much it costs?
And people shitting on like people from Mexico when they come here, and then they're like, "Well, come here legally." It's like they literally can't afford it, and it takes months to years to get here. What do you think they're gonna do? Just be like, "Oh, I can probably."
What is it?
I can probably
1,000 people a year?
Yeah, they only allow 1,000 a year.
1,000 a
It's like
year.
a
And
work
how much
visa.
was it?
It's
500?
it's like $700 to
700 bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so like
If you're from El Salvador,
They
you
say
got-
50%. I can't remember what the number is, but there's like 50% of some. I don't remember what the number is, but it's like so many Americans don't have, after they pay for everything, don't have more than $400 in there. So I'm saying a lot of us are almost in their situation in better means
Yeah.
and better circumstances and still can't fucking figure it out. And you're telling them to fucking figure it out.
and people from like privileged backgrounds, like seriously.
And I'm not saying I'm not privileged, but I'm saying I'm taking time to understand, and I'm saying I don't
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, same, I'm
understand.
not saying
Yeah.
I'm not privileged either.
Yeah.
Let me
Right.
imagine.
No, I confess I was saying like I was
Yeah.
so lucky to be privileged,
Yeah.
and I took advantage of it, and it's paid off for me. But yeah, totally, man. It's just not if
It's not fair. It's like
it's
there's people that
not, and
can't
maybe
go.
it's and then it gets back to maybe it's not supposed to be yada yada yada, but but just at least being willing to recognize that
Yeah.
is the case. I'm okay with like if that's how we want things to be in America, that's fine with me. I'm not soft,
Yeah.
if we're just
Just how it is.
if we're just cowboys out here, and that's how it is. I'll be fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I'll make
but
it.
I'll at least recognize that
Yeah.
this other guy didn't have a shot. You know.
Like that kid,
You know?
there could be a
It
kid that could
sucks.
be a good lawyer,
Yeah.
but just can't afford it.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
back to what you're talking about with the suit thing. What's up with just the need of someone official to have a suit?
I kind of wish I had a job where I could wear a suit. I like
Well, I
kind
wish I
of.
had a job I
That's
could
my
afford to
favorite
buy a
part.
suit. I
Yeah.
mean, like for real. Like you see these guys with like 7 different suits. Every time you see a different one.
I've only
like,
bought
dude.
one suit, and it was like $400.
Need a good suit.
And that wasn't
See,
even
so
a nice suit,
when-
apparently.
Like a second when I was going to interview for co-ops for speed school or whatever,
Yeah.
they would have like
Congrats
I'd
on
have-
speed school,
I
by the
have-
way. It's hard.
appreciate it. But there was one. I would need like a suit for this, okay, to go to these interviews, and I literally don't have any nice. I don't buy nice clothes because I don't feel like I need for them. Obviously, it's just the clothing, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I would need like a $300-$400 fucking suit, and like my mom would spend like if she had like $450, she'd spend that $400 give me a suit, and like that's just totally unfair that someone would have to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like that just because like if I showed up in like jeans and whatever I got, that's just the best I got, you wouldn't pick me because you'd be like, that guy can afford this suit right now. He looks better. Or female, sorry.
It is. It's a terrible situation. I've met a lot of kids wearing Jordans that I hate. Met
Wait,
a
what
lot. That's you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, fucking. I met a lot of kids wearing Jordans that I hate. Like,
you
seriously,
saw me,
just
like,
people
damn.
like fucking.
Got some nice shit.
Yeah, just some nice ass shit. They're a bunch of dicks.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, like it's not even just having nice shit. It's like if you're nice shit and you're like, yeah, you know I got nice shit, you don't, bitch.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I
Like,
definitely
Jesus.
recommend. Gotta have a nice suit. Probably want a
Oh,
couple
yes.
nice suits. I recommend. Gotta have a nice navy because it's multiple and you can we're job interviews and it's formal and it's multiple and a charcoal gray is probably your
Yeah, I
second.
was gonna say gray too, dude.
Yeah.
Gray is a nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
like
gotta
the
have
gray.
those, and it is so important, man. I like, especially with being a young attorney. I feel like if I can
I feel like you
just,
gotta uphold a certain amount.
I have to, yeah.
I
And
feel like they
no
expect
doubt-
you to look like a young gun.
Oh yeah, you have to look.
No,
like
I
that.
have to, and I have to. That's one of that's half
Like,
of
except
my.
motherfuckers.
Half of it is the smoke and mirrors of I'm supposed to look the part, have the items you're supposed to have, and if I walk in here with the suit and I have a I have some a
I'm
legal
disappointed you're not in
pad
a suit, by the way.
and yeah, my bad. Normally I have one, but I either wear suits or I wear like t-shirts and sweatpants. I don't have anything else because I don't really care about dressing nice, but I do have to do the smoke and mirrors for work.
But sometimes when you do dress nice and you're like, I'm looking nice right now.
Yeah.
It is
man,
nice though,
yeah,
for real.
yeah.
Like it makes your day so much better.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I look nice.
Clients come into my office and I know it wouldn't even matter what I said. I just know that because they're in the office and I could say anything I want and they're going to believe it. And, part of being a lawyer is you're selling yourself. So, I mean, the suit is like 95% of it, guys. And I know I hate to be like that, but it's.
I mean, it's like
true.
the front door to a house.
It is, yeah.
I mean, it's like first impression kind of
Yeah,
thing. It's like
yeah,
as soon as you walk
yeah.
in, what's it look like?
Yeah.
They talk about like whatever the crazy number was of people that like make their first impression on the house they buy based on the front fucking door.
Yeah, that's what makes sense. When I got appointed by the mayor, when I went to the job interview, I wore the nicest suit I could wear, shaved my face, and honestly, he did most of the talking. I didn't say a whole lot, so the suit had a lot to do with. Obviously,
Yeah,
had
because
to
he
do with
looked
it.
at the suit more than he talked.
Dude, the suit killed it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were just like,
yeah, man. It's yeah, and that's I think how Trump won the president because he stood up there in nice suits and he said that we're gonna make America great again and said he knew everything about everything and he won. He's just part of it. Like you just gotta sell
Don't say
yourself.
he thought he knew it. He knows everything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go and get that on the record. But saying this, let's think of so what's your like, if you could think what you want to do next, if you like after this, what's your like future endeavors?
Well, I'm really wanting to get into being a sports agent. Is kind of the dream with the firm. So we're looking into that. I'm FIBA licensed, so I can do international basketball. So we were talking about Derek Willis later. So when Derek comes back home, I'm really gonna try to pitch to Derek about. Now I know he already has an agent, and you'd have to wait for that agreement to expire, end. But that's kind of the dream with the firm.
Yeah.
Right now I'm doing, like divorce work, did a little bit of criminal work, wills, probates, real estate stuff. But, and I enjoy that stuff, but I would love to do something where every day I'm having fun and it's not even like work. And I'd love just to travel around to basketball tournaments or baseball
That'd be the dream, man,
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I really want to get going. And I'm just gonna try to do it, and I'm gonna keep showing up because that's one thing I will say. And my one advice to the listeners is just keep showing up because a lot of times in life, like I had no business really being in law school, and most of the kids in there were way smarter than me, and I was nervous and scared and anxious at times, but I just kept showing up, and then now everything's really fell in place.
Everything
for me.
happened to me.
Yeah,
I was
so
in
just-
an interview with my program manager for like a little review kind of thing or whatever, and my supervisor, and like I kind of got in my own head. I was kind of telling them like, I know things might not have gone whatever, and they're like, you've done great. Like,
Yeah.
if anything that I like, you're sitting here shitting on yourself. It's like you've got perfect attendance. Like we can commend you on that alone, not even
Yeah.
considering your work. Most
Yeah.
people just won't show up.
And they watch that stuff too. And
They
sometimes
do.
when someone's giving you a hard time, they could be giving you a hard time to test you a little bit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, just to see if you'll keep rolling through the punches because the tough people are what they
Yeah,
want.
they'll start running a little harder. You get
That's part
spanked
of
on the ass.
process. Yeah, that's part of the process, and it's kind of in law schools like that. Like there would be days where I'd get cold call in front of 100 people and looked like a fucking idiot, and then I got to show back up there the next day. But I would because I'd just be like, fuck everybody, I'm here again. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I don't care. I'm gonna get the credit like everybody else is and move on. We'll see where we're at when we get out
6
of
months,
here.
yeah,
We'll see where, so it's been really sweet for me too with some of the things that have happened with my career lately, because I know there's probably some people in law school that are sitting there thinking, what? He's getting this stuff done and rolling, but just keep showing up. And that's what I'm going to try to do with this agent thing. I'm just going to keep chipping away at it, and we'll see what happens.
See, I like people getting acknowledged more for effort. You know what I'm saying? Like the pay thing we were talking about earlier. I think effort's a big thing. Like, even if you don't get it fully, as long as you're like, I can tell you're not like bullshitting. Like as long as you're like trying, like you're like, damn, I really want to try on this.
Those are the people that I feel like I'd be talking to when I would say, yeah, I can get you a job. If you're willing to scoop up some horse shit and you need a job, dude, I got you. And I'll go find you a goddamn job.
And that's what some of these
on that?
homeless people and stuff, like some of the problems that we're talking about is that, and that is the difference. There is the people that they just had tough circumstances, but they're willing to use the resources or use the welfare, or use in the right way to get get out
back
of
up
it.
on their feet or try.
Why are people not hiring homeless people to pick up garbage on roads? Because
I think a lot of
place to
them
live. You just live right where you work.
Well, a lot of them probably won't show up, and that's one thing you will say that the flip side of it is a lot of them probably are lazy and won't show up and won't do it.
Well, you could just say if you're homeless and you want to pick up some trash, you can bring it to us. We'll pay you.
Well, some places do stuff like that.
You're not really employed there. You're just like, hey, if you bring it in, it's a way for you to get some income if you want to get Because then you can just go to work where you're at, just get some garbage, get a little bag, find somewhere, put some shit in there.
Make it happen, Joe.
Yeah, I will.
Go pitch it.
Right
Go
now.
pitch
Any
it.
homeless people listening, I got you in a while. They got their headphones in, their last phone bill.
But and that may be something. Maybe we're on an idea, boys. Maybe down the road we can maybe do something here locally or something. I know my office is right down the road. Maybe we could do something for some people like that, or figure something out.
There are quite a few homeless people.
That would be cool.
There really are. Well, ain't something to do.
Especially around here.
I thought about there's a lot of shit, like especially with how we're getting so eco-friendly, we've got to start cleaning out the streets and shit. So I mean, especially how many dumbasses you see driving, just toss out a bottle out of the fucking window and you just want to go.
Especially like in Shepherdsville, like I can't tell you how much shit just winds up in my yard. And I'm like, I know that wasn't me. Like I don't drink this drink. You're like,
my God bless.
Like a beer can up in your front yard, and it's Wednesday, and you're like, no.
It's a zombie
He's
town.
like, what me?
There's some zombies walking around this town for sure.
I just imagine like putting up flyers and like posts and like some homeless guy walking up going, wow, pick up trash on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Pay us $20. They can give me a bottle of beer. I'm just kidding.
Hey man, whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do with that money, that's all. I can just do so much. Here's some trash. A little cent into space.
Well, boys, I think that's about all I've got.
This was a great podcast. Also, congratulations.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, guys.
Yeah, no, I did as well.
Yeah, this one was a really fun one for real. But no, seriously, congratulations on your position.
I appreciate it. I love you guys are doing great work.
Very
this
impressive.
Is awesome. You're cutting edge podcast, and probably I bet you're the only one in this area. I bet you're the only podcast in Bullitt County. So anything I can do to help you.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, you probably are. You're probably doing some things that
really
you don't even
thought
realize. So just keep showing up, keep doing it.
So yeah. Anybody listening, if you want to inquire about some guests or anything, let us know. Anything we can improve on, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe to our YouTube, Apple Music, all that good. Not Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, all that shit. So,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate it.
Yep. So, have a good one.